15 Sunday in Ordinary Time, there's just so much to talk about. And I just want to give you a glimpse from the prophet Isaiah. What we don't hear leading up to is a promise of the fulfillment of the Davidic line of kings. And so we pick up with this promise that God's word will not return to him void. Well, Jesus is the word made flesh, and he establishes that eternal covenant with the Father on behalf of the people. And so Jesus comes into the world and makes good on this promise. So like that's the first meaning of this passage from Isaiah. That's the first meaning. Fast forward to the letter of St. Paul to the Romans, and it's just something that I've always just been blown away by, that this momentary light affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. 2 points. One, no matter how long we suffer in this life, it's only going to be a blip on the radar compared to eternity. And as well, no matter how bad I suffer, no matter how intense it is, it's going to be a light affliction compared to the eternal weight of glory. It's going to be so heavy, the glory of God bestowed on us, the ecstasy, the bliss, the glory that he wants to give to us. So compared to eternity, no matter what we experience, is going to be nothing. And compared to the eternal weight of glory, no matter what the difficulty is, it's going to be nothing compared. And that's a promise that'll keep you going. It's a promise that'll keep you going. And I look at the gospel reading too, and we've got the sower who went out to sow, and we know how this works. There's the path, there's the rocky ground, the thorny ground, and the good soil as well. And I think a lot of times we're just left with this question of like, well, how do I make rich soil? How do I become rich soil? Am I rich soil? Can I become rich soil? I think so much of it comes down to this, and it's just the pattern between what I just named in the Old Testament and the New, recognizing that God has already been faithful to his promises. He promised a fulfillment of that Davidic kingship. Jesus comes into the world and his mission does not fail. We can look back and see that and trust more deeply in the promise of the Father. So that when we hear, crazy things like what St. Paul says about this eternal weight of glory, we can say, well, God was already faithful to his promise. Why shouldn't he be faithful to it again? And in that itself, is a lifting out of a rock from the soil. It's a cutting back of the thorns, or digging out of the bush, and providing that space where our lives too, in the trust, in the promise, can bear fruit 30, 60, and 100-fold.